Thank you very much, Professor. Wow, I don't want to add nothing. So a few of us, you have an opportunity to ask a few questions. So I'll take the top ones that will be asked very quickly. So just place them there on the chats. And I think, I'm so happy. I know Gabriel may have mentioned that Gabriel is one of our former trainer. And I know he has been a big campaigner of data. And I'm sure he must be smiling when he is hearing this from Professor, that's where the jobs are. So if you have a question, please place it there. We have a few minutes with the Professor, and then, yeah, and any other feedback that you have, just put it there so that we as we go towards close. Yeah, I know all of us appreciate the journey. Well, I think we had not even thought about, where did we begin in those 1900s, coming this far. And it seems like every, few years, there is something that happens that is special. And maybe as the questions are coming, Professor, maybe you've talked about blockchain. That's one of the big area I've been looking for a speaker. Possibly after this, I will be hoping you can connect me with somebody who is so good in that area, because we have had all manner of things, negatives, positive, you don't know where to stand. So I think I would be happy to host somebody who can talk about blockchain and help us to understand what is where are we headed and what are the opportunities.
Well, it is being implemented now. We did the report. It's already there. I think some of you have read it. But we need government to begin to implement certain things. We need to create spaces where people can go and learn how to use it. Which, when I say that, our TVETs do not have the opportunity for young people to go and train locally. Even though as government has deployed a digital learning program, there is another level which we need to teach people so that they begin to be more productive, because the jobs are at that level. And this is where you need to engage. Maybe we need to ask one of the people from the ministry to come and talk to you, because I am just giving you what I know that is happening, but they can give you more details, especially from ICT board. They are doing so many things, and many people don't know about it. Yes.
It will be a great pleasure. I'll talk to you about that later. Thank you very much. I think somebody has asked, Women in Leadership is asking, the future of media, especially print media. Well, what's the future of the print media? How does it look like?
It's already struggling. It's already struggling at the moment. You can see even the current major newspapers are beginning to go online. If you are a very hardworking person, you can actually disrupt. I think you have seen sites like Tuko, which thrive on very small stories, but have created havoc for media. I don't know, because media is so broad. I don't know which aspect of it you asked, but there is a lot of opportunity around content development, films, art, music, whatnot, because there are so many platforms now to market yourself and earn a very decent earning. If you have a good followership, you can see on YouTube how successful some of the musicians, those who sing the Christian music, what do you call them? The
gospel musicians.
They have been very successful. If you see the number of people following them, or the number of people who are, it's very encouraging that the art sector is doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There's Ken Oma is asking just a clarification about MIT and IBM trainings. Are they free sites?
Those are free. Those are free. If you send me a link, I can send you the link. You send it to them.
Okay, that will be good.
Actually, I have like 60 or 70 young people who have gone through the course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks a lot. I'll get the link from you and then share with the team here. Okay, I'm skipping the comments. So many comments which are coming, which are not questions. And then let me just go to. We must embrace. Thank you very much. Do you think? Okay, thank you, Professor. This is Stanley Mushanga, a former trainer here. Do you think the use of how do you call that?
Cryptography.
Yes, I don't know what that is. And blockchain would be hindered by taxation.
Crypto already is operational in this country, but soon I think most governments would have what is called a stable currency, which is a cryptocurrency. Actually, digital currencies like M-Pesa are going to be more widely used. And if you recall, the president said, let us use M-Pesa more to reduce instances of the disease. That is the beginning of switching completely to digital currency.
Thank you very much. Okay, fine. Somebody is saying, hello, Professor, thanks so much on how we can leverage, how we can leverage on available innovative digital solutions to create our own businesses, because as we stand, we just view this from a consumer perspective. Thanks. Yeah, that's I think a comment of appreciation. Okay, somebody is introducing themselves there, Dr. Tabitha. As I know all of us can read. I'm trying to just look at what are questions. Bukiti here is asking, as per the stimulus economic recovery protocols, should TVET rethink and revolutionize? Is the government intentional on this in short-term, medium, and long-term plans?
I've written like 5 articles around that. The TVETs have to change completely, because even those of you who have gone through college can actually go back to the TVET to do a specialized course which will lead to a job. That is the role of TVETs, not universities. And then some universities have to be converted to become what is called applied sciences university, meaning when you finish as an engineer, you can make something that industry would like, and so you can be able to collaborate with industry to begin innovations.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, somebody gives a very good comment here about you and then asks the question at the end. Allow me to read this. Great lessons today. This Caleb David, he also trained us here. Bitange is one of those guys who have mastered adaptability, seamlessly moving from environment to environment, senior public servant with the hype that comes with it, to simplicity of private life, being a version of himself, breaking off from traditional mindsets, disruptive mindset. I have listened to him in many forums, including Engage. Thank you, Caleb. I think that's very positive.
I want to tape that compliment and give it to my wife. She never thinks I know anything.
Oh my goodness. I will also get you the recording, Professor, so that she can also listen to it. Okay, that's interesting. Now there's a question there by Caleb. He said, what drives your adaptive nature? What is your philosophy?
My philosophy is very simple, that life is not static, and I've lived in that. When I came from the US, I couldn't get a job, so I started selling vegetables, and I was perfectly doing so well. Only that I did them differently in such a way to differentiate myself, and some of it I exported. And then someone messed me up, and this, as young people, you should never listen. I was actually making good money, and someone went and told my mother that I'm selling vegetables. You know, in the vernacular, is very bad. It sounds even worse, you know, in vernacular. My mom came because she's the one who brought me up and said, "You can't do this. It's embarrassing me at the village." That's how I went to teach at the university, to prove that I went to school. I would have actually done better as person doing business in vegetables. So that lesson is actually very powerful. You laugh at it, but it's actually a serious thing. You can look at my write-ups. And so I went to university. From selling and exporting vegetables, I was comfortably paying rent of 14,000 in Kileleshwa to earning a salary of 9,000 gross at the university, meaning you cough some money from the pocket to clear rent. So that was a very stupid decision, which young people should not make. Yeah, and then because of at the university, I did whatever. When I joined the government, the philosophy is that no matter how far you go, there will come a time when you will have to climb down, meaning the people who held the ladder for you going up should be there holding that ladder for you to come down. If you discard them, they would move, and the coming down will be very difficult. And so constantly, even as I speak to you, like now, I make sure I learn something every week from YouTube. I can make bread, banana bread. I can make virtually everything. This is what I call my insurance. So if the university decides to fire me, I will not die because I didn't get income. I will straight away go make the banana bread or go make make milk from soya, and I'll be able to sell it. So if you have that philosophy, if you say, "Oh, now I've become the vice chancellor, the university, I must get, I am very senior, I can't do this," utakufa tu, because you did not humble yourself that the things have changed, have got to change with the situation.
Wow, wow, wow. I think that's message home. And
so if I come to sell bread to you, just buy it and know that things have turned this way for him.
Professor, you put it very lightly. I read an article you wrote somewhere about the way the phone stopped behaving from the time you left the public limelight, and now afterwards. You know, the major distinction, you know, on your phone, and I find it quite, eye-opening and very well.
Just as a young,
very interesting.
Because you are still young,
yes.
Today you can rise up in any organization, even say in Kenya Power, who have put off my lights. You go up to CEO. The day you leave that office, hakuna hata mtu moja, labda umbo yako tu ndio itakimbilia wewe when you go home, and even your wife can move away, by the way. Yeah.
What? Hey, okay. That is
life is hard. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's deep cutting. That's deep cutting. Two more questions here. There's great lessons. Comment on Konza City and its future. That's from Duncan Juma.
I think the government has done well in terms of trying to build it. I know the Korean Institute for Advanced Studies are doing an applied sciences university there. There's a couple of companies that have, if you actually go there, there is some activity going on. And we should commend the government that they have done something at least. I see people complaining and saying, oh, serikali haijafanya hii, but they have done something on the ground, and eventually it would become a hub, a very good hub.
Wow, thank you very much. Yeah, of course, many of us remember, I mean, when we hear your name, the big thing that comes to our mind is Konza City, because we had it the first time with you. And Jafet Aseko is saying, Professor, this is encouraging. We have courses like astrophysics, which deals with big data, yet its practicality in Kenya is small. What can you do to help an individual with such a background? And maybe I could join that one with the one that has been asked there. Can somebody get a job after doing the IBM courses? Okay. Yeah.
The astrophysics is not a problem. When I told you to look at big data analytics, it is not restricted to astrophysics. And the future is not going to be that because you studied history or astrophysics or geography, you cannot do data analytics in retail, for example. It means you have the capacity to train yourself and be able to do something. Actually go and look at those courses in IBM, in MIT. You find some of it are not very far away. Because I was shortening what I was saying, is that if you begin to do something, if you begin to do the analytics, say, in another space, soon someone would get to know that there's an astrophysicist somewhere, and you begin to get your jobs. The big problem is when you sit there and they say, mimi nilisoma tu na kazi yangu haijakuja. That is when you die for no reason. Just do what it takes. That's why I took the risk to give you the story that I had to sell vegetables in order to become a professor. Otherwise, ninge collapse mbele kidogo huko.
Wow. Thank you. I think what I'm hearing from you is that there shouldn't be a youth with an excuse. Hakuna kazi or something, especially if we have the smartphones which we are using to log in into this session, then we can go to the YouTube and get ourselves equipped, and within no time we can do something for ourselves. I think that's what I'm thinking.
There are 1 million things in YouTube. You can do that. The other day I made I was looking at how people suffer with potatoes in Nyandarua and in Molo. And I kept on thinking, what can be done? So I went and bought some of those and actually made flakes, potato flakes, which you can keep for 5 years, meaning you can store value and sell it when it's needed. When you bring it back to normal, it tastes the same way it tastes when you cook mashed potato. There isn't much in this space, but women, when they cook for their toddlers, mashed potato, they spend so much time in the kitchen. You can create the flour from that, and it takes them exactly 1 minute to cook for the child. That's a new product in the market. I can actually make it for you, and you'll be shocked how sweet it is. You just go on how to make. So you have solved a problem, but also you have helped yourself.
Wow, yeah. Wonderful. Well, the 113 of us here, I hope we can hear. We can hear the message is loud and clear. Sarah Karingi, Queen of Networking, I can see you are here. Thank you very much. A former speaker also. She is saying, thanks, Professor Bitange. Do you advise one to trade or mine Bitcoins? Now that there's a trading part and the mining.
Well, people have been saying that my take on cryptocurrency is actually, if you understand what we call the utility of the currency you can buy. This mining, people say they have made money. I am not 100% sure, but where the value comes from is when you buy a currency which has a utility, which you know where it is used. It is like a company that is doing business and you can see how it's making money. That is what we call utility. So, but people get tricked and they say, oh, this is good. And then they end up losing their money. So we need to speak in that space in a very detailed way so that people know where the value is. Right now, everybody says what they want, and then it's very complex for people to translate into normal value.
Thank you. I think another one on cryptocurrency here from Eli Mudedi. He is saying there is a potential of hacking with regards to cryptocurrency. How do we prepare ourselves even as we consider focusing on changing from that revolution to the fourth?
You know, we are in the fourth revolution, but you are asking from the third to fourth?
Yeah, I think he should be talking. Well, we can focus on the first part of the question where he's talking about the security of hacking, and therefore, how do we prepare as we transition?
There is cybersecurity problem everywhere, but I don't think.
Hello, Professor, you still there?
Yes, I am still there. I'm very much there. The problem of cybersecurity is a major problem, but you need to be able to, actually, we should have even government intervening in a space where some people are taking advantage of the others. I don't think you can hack a blockchain solution, but there are some people who would sell you something and then come and cheat you it was hacked. Blockchain, the reason why it is being used for currency is because it is impossible for you to hack it, because you would have to hack every computer that we call it a distributed ledger. You would have to hack 50% of those in order to be able to hack it. So there are people who are being cheated.
Okay, Professor, I think now we go towards winding up. Well, Gabriel, thank you. Gabriel Ndemo is also a former trainer here, and he is saying for those ones who are seeking opportunities in big data and data science and artificial intelligence, can also get in touch with him. He can provide leads and information. I know he is big in training in that area, and I'm happy to provide as much information. To connect you with him.
Even if you fail in math, I think the gentleman who said he knows, you would still can be able to do big data analytics. I've seen people who did history and they're doing well. And I think it goes back to what I told you. Some people did not do math because of the biases. People used to look at a woman who did math, they think she's masculine or something. So everybody feared to do math, that they might not look beautiful as women. And others were cheated out of it. So it is a time you can do whatever you want to do at your own pace, and you'll be able to understand it.
Thank you very much, Professor. really profound knowledge from Professor. That's Steve Mumo. Thanks so much. Just to ask, what's the future of Forex trading in Kenya, given that many do not know and consider it as gambling? I've seen 2 questions on Forex. What's a comment on Forex trading?
Forex is, those are areas that when we go into digital currencies, you can change money in any part of the world, because everything will be virtual. But governments try to protect this because of another law called anti-money laundering, that you may not play like in the past when people used to make a lot of money by trading in places that government was not able to see.
Thank you. So everybody is concerned about their job. Somebody is also asking about the future of work in healthcare, apart from hospitals having, apart from having hospitals and clinics. What's the future of healthcare?
That is what we normally say. Any work that involves what we call empathy would not be disrupted by technology. To handle patients, part of the healing is the process, is how you handle those patients. You can't have a robot come and tell me you will be fine. You know that is not what you want to hear. But you need a human being to tell you, Mungu ako na wewe, you know, that empathy, whatever, and stuff like that. Healing is not the medicine, actually. We can make you sick today. If 10 of us conspire to be shocked when you show up and say what happened, you'll be sick by the end of the day.
That sounds interesting, Professor. It sounds like the job security is moving towards social sciences, the arts, and moving the science. Unless you are an inventor, then the jobs are moving more towards the arts. Okay, going by what you've just said.
Yes, creative thinking. It is us who differentiate jobs, because when you design a computer, it's a social scientist who will tell you my behavior towards that device. So, but we say that this is a sociologist, a psychologist, a what. But in design thinking and others, you get a team of people to tell you what can optimally be used by people.
Wow, thank you. There's a very, very nice question here by Ndemo. Professor, in solutions and applications development to digitalization or digitization of various sectors, including the groceries, as you mentioned, and TVET, is there any opportunity to present the ideas and possibilities of funding them towards achievement? I think that's a big question for the youth. We are this creative, this big, but where is the money, or who is willing to finance us?
A lot of successful businesses were not started with a lot of money. And that is the space we want to begin. As I said, you could start with simply digitizing eggs in Kiambu, and very slowly you grow from that space. And once you create some revenue, you would get several VCs coming your way. What people try to do, and I see so many who come to see me, is they have a concept and they want to be given 12 million. Then the VCs ask, what revenue is there? There is no revenue. You need to begin using what we call social networks. You have a huge social network. It's not very easy to have so many people that you have like here. You would have people from several parts of the country and you say, can you do this for me there? And very quickly, you would have something moving. That's how companies grow.
But I think it's been great pleasure to have you, Professor. I feel so humbled